Greetings to the body of the people. This is a man called Chris Dorsey. Of course, they probably got a crazy screenshot of me. Facebook does. That is. So we are live. We are waiting here for folks to join in. Max, get up. Get up, bud. All right. Let's see. Okay. Synagogue of Satan, Beirut nuclear bombing. Looked like a missile to me. Some kind, definitely a missile. Um, so I guess we'll talk by just start by talking about the missile, the IDF missile that hit Beirut, Lebanon, the port of Beirut. And so we have video evidence of that, and we posted it. It's one of those things. It goes how it goes. I'll tell you that right now. Everything that we're seeing tonight, last night, tomorrow night, everything. It happens. It happens for an absolute reason, and all I can say is I know what's going on, and my ability to communicate to the public what's going on, I feel I do it well. I feel I do it better than anyone else that I can name for what particular information I'm putting out there. I'm a fan of a lot of different individuals. So we're just going to show this over and over again. What you're looking at right now is the video I made. Turn the volume up. Synagogue of Satanry carried out this attack on Beirut, Lebanon. We'll start it over. So we know Israel, the Zionist state, organized Synagogue of Satanry carried out this attack on Beirut, Lebanon, that resulted in a gigantic mushroom cloud. We verified that Israel has nuclear weapons, and they've got these plans like the Greater Israel Project and the Samson Option. And we know that the adversary of God is involved in a large-scale war against the people, economic, psychological, asymmetrical, symmetrical, etc. So we're just going to show you. We just want to get that out of the way. It's always Mossad. We've been calling it out. Millions have seen us call it out. We called it out before anybody else was calling it out, like we were and why we were. That we're not agents of the Mossad being controlled opposition. So we're just going to show you this footage, and we'll let you decide, and then we'll show it on TV. So what I see is a projectile, explosive projectile. Okay, you can check it out. You can't check it out at either of these places right now, but it's still up on Twitter as of 2 hours ago. And it's up on Live Leak here on my Live Leak channel. Both of these links are not here, but in any event, you can see it right now if you haven't already seen it. There's the missile. So yeah, I don't know how you can miss that. Okay, so there's the missile. So we'll show this about five to 10 more times during this show. We'll show this over and over and over again. So yeah,
There it
how
is.
you can miss that.
You can't miss it. It's a missile.
The aftermath.
It's a missile. It definitely is a missile. And we'll show that, as I said before, we'll show that over and over and over again. We'll show it over and over again. I don't know. Okay. We'll show it over and over again. That's the missile that hit the port. There was already a fire going on there for some reason, but I believe that's a diversionary tactic. I was talking to my neighbor. I guess it was 2 nights ago, I think. So I, we started discussing the fire, and I brought up the fact that to me the fire was diversionary. That the fire was their excuse to say, see, that the fire caused the massive explosion, and it was all the, I guess, base weapons material, ammonium nitrate, or whatever other kind of of whatever other kind of explosives or weapons grade material they said they have on there. I'm bringing Clifford on here now. Yeah. So hey, greetings, Clifford. We got off.
Greetings.
Just kind of the normal start. I started talking about how the fact that my knowledge of something and me knowing something really doesn't have anything to do with my ability to explain and get through to individuals that are unaware of what I know. And then basically I just was like, okay, we're just going to show everyone the missile hitting the Beirut port of Beirut, I should say. And then that's it. I mean, that's what we've done so far. We've showed that, and I don't know. Hey, Cliff, we're getting some weird background noise.
That might be the rain. I'm not sure. I was hearing something before that didn't sound like it would be the rain, but I'm not sure. I'll try to close the door.
Okay. All right. So in any event, I mean, you saw the bomb, right? I mean, you saw the missile, I should say.
Yep.
Hey, greetings, British Lebanese. Hey, greetings to all. Alfredo, Ricky, let's see, sorry. Risky, Kiki, JD Davis, of course. Thanks as always for watching. Yeah, it's a missile, JD. I can't see anything else. Oh my gosh, this freaking daggone thing. So yeah, that's really all we've done so far. Got a little bit of a late start as usual. I really don't care. I mean, I used to get really worked up about how many people are watching. What are they saying? What are they saying about what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what else to say other than the fire looks like a diversionary tactic. In order to, I guess, distract from the fact that nothing was really exploding massively until the missile hit, and it was clearly a missile. So the diversionary story is the fire led to a couple explosions and then one giant explosion. Is that the BS narrative where they pretend like there's not lots of video out there showing a missile and saying that this was a doctored video? I mean, I've seen all the videos. All of them show a missile. The negative filming shows it more clearly, and it's more of a flash, from above in all the other videos. But all the other videos unless they've been doctored to take it out, they show a missile. Go ahead, Cliff.
I mean, it's nothing new, really. I mean, how many times has Israel bombed Lebanon in the past? I mean,
Right.
it's business as usual, but for whatever reason, I guess, given the type and size of explosion, that's what makes it more dramatic. But at the same time, there were other targets around the world that were having incidents, from Iraq to Korea to the UAE, United Arab Emirates. So there, and Lebanon just seems to be the biggest one, because besides just sort of uncontrolled fires, there was a missile strike that I guess they're saying was an explosion caused by the fires, but we know that's not true.
I wonder if those death counts are low, or whether that's in an area where they knew that it's sparsely populated for that day. But because, I mean, it's amazing to me that there was not a higher death count than 150 or so people. I mean, that's the last one I heard. Yeah, you're right. Hey, it's a great point. Iraq, UAE, what were some of the other places?
There's an incident in North Korea. I think it was North Korea, not South Korea. Yeah, UAE, Iraq. I'm trying to think if there was another one. But those are the first three I can remember.
Wasn't there? Well, I mean, anyone on the broadcast? Because again, at this point, is like, I mean, yeah, we know a bunch happened today. The last thing I saw before I logged on was pictures of all these different places, and said, "Hey, do you think it's a coincidence?" Or some sort of meme I posted about all the incidents that happened on the same day, or within a 24-hour or 48-hour period of the nuclear bombing by the Israeli Defense Force in Beirut, Lebanon. All the, it was a meme showing all the pictures, basically saying, "Is this a coincidence?" And it has been fact checked by Facebook. And when I say fact checked, we're living in opposite world. Just like when you were in elementary school and somebody said something to insult you, and your comeback was, "Today is opposite day," or something to that effect. Was that just me? Was that just my generation that was obsessed with opposite day? Today is opposite day. When I guess between the ages of 6 and 10.
I mean, it was a trope when I was growing up. I mean, it was a trope when I was growing up, but it wasn't like a huge big thing. But yeah, it was a concept people
Today is
knew
opposite
and
day. You look great.
Yeah.
Today is, whatever. Anyway, knowing that fact means not fact. So what part is wrong with these fact checkers? They just take something that is impossible to prove wrong, and they just say fake news. So that's another thing that folks didn't really notice, because they are dumb with their partisan mindset, that Donald Trump saying fake news and Facebook fact checked is this part of the same operation. Do you get what I'm saying, Cliff? Because again, this is what I was getting at when I was saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's the actors playing their roles. It's like everything else where
But
oh,
I'm
Donald
saying
Trump
specifically, it's the same operation. It's the same particular attack from the right flank and left flank, meaning that Donald Trump and the quote unquote liberals are working together on this very same thing, to take anything that is as verified as fact can get, like the theory of gravity. I know if I let go of this phone, it's going to drop. That's still a theory. But that those explosions, that these massive explosions and fire, they all took place on the same day. or like I said, in the same 24 to 48 hour period. They were in many in different, I guess, different time zones. But in any event, that is real. And that Donald Trump saying something that's verified as fact, real, that we've all seen with our own eyes, and saying fake news is part of the exact same operation as the quote unquote liberal media with their fact checking and their what's that one with the guy that's involved with the child rape rings that everybody points to, that Snopes, thank you. Yeah. And it's always some kind of verified child rapist that's in they're the ones that get to tell us what's real and what's not real, even when exposing the child rape networks themselves. But in any event, we know this is real. And my knowledge of things, I believe, as I said before to start the show, that I'm as good as anyone at informing the public. Basically, if you don't get what I'm saying, I don't know. I don't talk to you for 20 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes before I get to the meat of the matter. I show it from the beginning. I say, this is it. This is what I believe. This has been verified. I don't know what else to say other than like other folks' opinion. I don't know how I can say this anymore. It's meaningless to me. And even I wonder why it takes so much effort to and I'm not sure, get the information out to everyone, because I know what's going on. I can see it. So in any event, I don't know why I felt the urge to say this, why it's sticking in my craw, why it's coming, particularly, but I felt like saying it. I don't know, Clifford, any thoughts?
I mean, so what I found most curious about this particular attack in Beirut was there's always the numerical synchronicities. There's lots of those, but it also seemed to be a ritual for Leo season. Mercury had entered Leo. It was Obama's 59th birthday, a lot of things there. But beyond that, I found the etymology interesting because I was looking up.
Hold on a second. Wasn't it the 75th anniversary of Hiroshima as well?
I believe that was on yesterday. It was within like a couple days, if not the day of the 75th anniversary.
Okay.
But I was finding the etymology of Lebanon to be pretty interesting, meaning it apparently means the white place or the place of whiteness. In Beirut means wells, so it's like the wells of the place of whiteness. So I don't know if my gut feeling goes to the race war propaganda that's rampant all over the world, but especially in the United States right now. So I don't know if that's also predictive programming for the next leg of this race war psyop, or if that's just sort of incidental. Because as I said, the fake Israelis attack Lebanon a good deal. This is nothing new for them.
They're at war with them. Always.
Exactly.
Sorry to talk over you. They're always at war with Lebanon. It fits in with every bit of the Greater Israel Project, because basically it's just like I don't know, like just after more land is spreading out from their point to the north, south, east, and west. That's their plan. I mean, it's pretty obvious, and that's it. So you saw that there was I guess a default on loans to the IMF that was going on. Let's get into the specifics of that one then, just so we can cross all our I's and dot all our T's, or do the opposite of that, because it's opposite day. They say fact is fiction and fiction is fact. But let's get into the money issues that were going on in Lebanon, and I hope I can find this. Let's see. I'm always going to different accounts. So, Cliff, did you see that there was some like billions
49
owed?
billion.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that was one of the last things I saw before the broadcast. I saw you post that.
And there was lots of political unrest in 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 um let's
In
see.
Lebanon. In
Yeah,
Lebanon.
yeah.
So I remember there were calls for, I think, overthrowing the government at some point. I thought I did a video of people in San Francisco
Yes.
protesting the Lebanese government, but it was actually the Iranian government. But I do recall there were protests against the Lebanese government not too long ago, sometime I think late last year.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, this has been going on for a little while there. I mean, the attacks by Israel have been going on my entire life, but even before I was born, because it is in such close proximity to Palestine, what they wrongly call Israel. Now, Israel, okay, here we go. IMF reports $49 billion losses at Lebanon Central Bank as bailout talks drag. Okay. So that is June 25th, about a month and a couple weeks ago. Okay. So there you go. Let's see. What else is going on with this?
So, hey, Chris, I'm going to hop off for a second, but I'll be back.
Okay. All right. All right. Cliff is going to hop off. You want me to bring you back? Are you getting off the phone or?
I'm getting off, and I'll like message in the comments when I'm back.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Cliff will be back here in just a little bit. So yeah, the IMF reports 40 bank as bailout talks drag. So I mean, what else do you need to know? I mean, maybe we'll show this explosion again, and we'll play it from the beginning. This is called. I titled this Beirut explosion caused by IDF missile caught on video. So you'll be able to look at the title of that, and I don't know, it has between maybe close to 7,000 views so far. I put it up about 24 hours ago. And obviously, I videotaped it while these videos were still up. So we know Israel, the Zionist state, organized Synagogue of Satanry, carried out this attack on Beirut, Lebanon, that resulted in a gigantic mushroom cloud. We verified that Israel has nuclear weapons, and they've got these plans like the Greater Israel Project and the Samson option. And we know that the adversary of God is involved in a large-scale war against the people, economic, psychological, asymmetrical, symmetrical, etc. So we're just going to show you. We just want to get that out of the way. It's always Mossad. We've been calling it out. Millions have seen us call it out. We called it out before anybody else was calling it out, like we were and why we were. That we're not agents of the Mossad being controlled opposition. So we're just going to show you this footage, and we'll let you decide
and then we'll show it on TV. So what I see is a projectile, explosive projectile. Okay, you can check it out. You can't check it out anymore. Okay. So, the YouTube is taking that video down, and it's also taking this next one down. No. But we'll get ready to see another, maybe from a larger screen. We are going to show, hopefully get a decent shot on the TV. So yeah, I don't know how you can miss that. All right. There you go. I don't know how you can miss that. It is very obvious that is a projectile. It's just like the missile that hit the Pentagon. It's just like the missile that hit that building in Waco, Texas, back on the same day of the Boston bombing. It's just like all of these incidents involving the Israeli Defense Forces and their clandestine, asymmetrical warfare against the world. I mean, it's always the case. It's always the case. It's never not the case. So yeah, that we'll show that again. That's number 2 that we showed this during the broadcast. We'll show it at least 3 more times. So don't get upset if you missed it the last time. We'll show it at least 3 more times. So sure is, Chris, and that cloud looked like a mini Hiroshima. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a nuclear explosion, and the fire and the front story is just that. It's a distraction. It's a distraction from a missile hitting. Okay, so let's go on a little bit more with this this missile theory, because we'll see here. I'll show you the headline from USA Today. This is the first thing I was looking at today. Lebanon president, Beirut explosion either due to negligence or missile bomb. Missile, bomb, I should say. Okay, so this is a quote from the story. Aoun said Friday that he asked France for satellite images to see if there were warplanes or missiles in the air at the time of the blast. This differs from the main narrative of recent days, which focused on Lebanese port officials. Wow, I guess it was because they saw the video, or they don't need to ask France for satellite images because everybody around there saw it with their naked eyes, saw that missile flying into the port of Beirut and creating a mushroom cloud. But hey, there you go. There you go. Here's this quote again from the story. Lebanon president, Beirut explosion either due to negligence, sorry, or missile, bomb. Yeah, the latter. This is the quote from inside this story. You can read the rest of it yourself. Aoun said Friday, that's today, he asked France for satellite images to see if there were warplanes or missiles, like we just saw, in the air at the time of the blast. Hey, you know that missile that hit the port? You know that missile that everyone sees, that everyone on this broadcast just saw hitting the port? Let's ask France if there were any missiles in the air at the time just before the missile hit the port of Beirut at the time of the blast. Yeah, were there any missiles in the air when the missile caused that blast? This differs from the main narrative of recent days, which focus on Lebanese port officials. Yeah, because it was the Lebanese port officials. Right. Um, hey, yeah, it's good. Good question. But I would say that's an easy. That's an easy answer because again, there was a fire. There was a fire going on at the same time. A gigantic fire before the explosion, and it's at the port of Beirut. So I don't know how long does it take. I mean, I travel with a camera everywhere I go, not just the phone. I have a handheld Sony uh, uh, Handycam that I catch all sorts of unusual things that most people don't catch. But I mean, there's a fire going on. So, I mean, yeah. What did the dancing Israelis say when they were arrested? Yeah, we were there to capture our handiwork. That's what they said. Um, yeah. So I would say the fire is why a lot of folks were focused on that building. And as I said before, I believe the fire was diversionary. As with all this stuff that goes on, there's always diversionary tactics. And again, I know these things. How I know them is from a very unique experience of being in the middle of these staged events. And obviously this is staged. You gotta stage a military attack in a theater of war. So to me, the fire is the excuse. They say, oh, it caught fire and that caused the explosion, a gigantic explosion. The fire may have caused certain explosions inside the building where there's a gigantic crater in the ground. However, it was the missile that precipitated and caused the explosion that resulted in a mushroom cloud. Yeah, fire for the blame like they did on 9/11. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where folks may acknowledge the missile. They may say it's a possibility. Everyone, hey, here's a good quick little poll. Now, we've shown the explosion. I don't know. I said two times, and we got three more to go. But one of the times we showed it twice. So we've shown it three times during this broadcast. We're about maybe 40 minutes in to the broadcast. We've already shown the explosion three times. I can see folks have seen it. Does anybody disagree? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can invite Cliff. Approve. Add Cliff. We're adding Cliff. So, does anybody refute the fact that they saw a missile in those videos? Cliff, we're just doing a quick little poll so we can separate the sane from the insane. Yeah, we're getting that background noise again, Cliff. We're asking.
Yes.
We're asking.
I might just hop on, clear back when it clears up a little bit.
Just let's do a sound check for a second. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Maybe it's dependent on where you're standing, or maybe it's louder at a certain time.
But in any event, who refutes the fact that there is a missile hitting that building in the port of Beirut? Who refutes? Does anybody think that that's not what happened? That's weird background noise there, Cliff. That's like I'm hearing somebody talking.
Yeah, there's some people talking.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a closed space.
Okay. Yeah, Bill Wright says no disagreement. Hey, thank you. I saw a missile. Okay, let's see. British Lebanese says some fresh info for all from former Prime Minister Sleeman. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading that. Who used to follow me for decades.
Who used to follow me for a decade has deleted 1 year tweets. This I find breaking.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Cliff. Just cannot confirm the validity of the film. Well, compared to all the other ones, compared to the other ones, and the validity. How can are you an expert on whether something is valid or not valid? Do you know how it could have been doctored? Bill Wright, please, enlighten us, because hey, I don't wish to be showing something that's not verifiable. But I mean, if it isn't verified, let's start looking up other angles. Yeah, it sounds like folks yelling out there, Cliff. It actually sounds like when we're broadcasting with Jessica Collins from jail. Let's see here. Let's see. Video of Beirut explosion. Okay, so there's all these fact checkers are saying that this is, and we told you about the fact checkers. We told you about all of them, and they're saying that this is not real, and that the others are real. Cliff, can you just mute it and when you want to say something, because it's not as bad when you say something like the background.
Yeah, I don't really see a mute.
Better. Okay, man, I don't even want to see something from CNN. I'm looking for videos. I'm not looking for CNN. I'm looking for video.
Down. Videos. Couple survives blast. CNN.com. Okay. YouTube. New videos of massive explosion emerging online. Okay, this is from 9 hours ago. New videos. Okay. All right, the new videos. All right, so let's look at this new video. New video. That other one was old. They said it was a problem. I've seen a lot of the videos, and you suck. What is going on with this? Like, they got the background. Like, no, I don't want to see it. I want to see the freaking explosion. The explosion. Man, this is some stuff. Video of Beirut explosion. Maybe just like Beirut explosion. All right. This happens every time. I don't know if you guys really notice this phenomenon, but I find when I'm looking for something real simple, real freaking simple, like it you never get it. Look at this stuff. Nothing with just a little bit of the explosion. Yeah, that's a good point, Cliff. Why would you not trust your own eyes unless you know how it could be doctored? Right. I mean, that would seem like it would be tough to be doctored. It, I mean, or not. I don't know. Maybe it would be tough to be doctored. Maybe it wouldn't be tough to be doctored. But I mean, the timing is exactly right. Normally, when we see doctored video, we can tell, what's going on with the doctored video. All right, let's just look at this because, and this is 8 hours ago too. Why is all this coming up for 8 hours ago? Can anybody send me a link to just the explosion or something like that? Because now I'm getting these new videos from CNN. Occam's razor is very useful for this one. Don't, yeah, I would say that same thing. And or I don't know. I'm confident. Um, I have a lot of experience in this sort of in this sort of field. So, and why are these all new videos? These should be new video shows closest angle. Okay, this is another 14 hours ago. So this happened days ago. Okay. Okay. Horrible video there. Horrible video. All right, that part a little better. So we got. All right. So we'll try to get it. There it is, around 17 seconds. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. So let's get back to like 14. Okay. Yeah, that's horrible. They're trying to spread disinformation here. So was that doctored? It looked like she pointed away and started pointing stuff right before the explosion would take place. So, and this all this new video. What happened to the original one? 2 days ago. Okay. So this is going to give us 8 seconds. I wish it was longer than that. So we're going to just. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, let's see what's going on here. All right, so this is not loading up properly, so we're going to try to get another video up here. So, Bill, let's bring you on. I'm gonna try to bring Bill right on because I I want to see if we can talk to Bill. Add viewers to the broadcast. Let's see. Bill. Bill Wright. I'm inviting Bill Wright on. If we can. That's what I just tried to do that. Invite Bill Wright. That's strange. I can't get to Bill Wright on this broadcast. I don't know, Bill. I'm becoming a little skeptical of your little whatever it is that you're doing here, and it really kind of doesn't really make sense to me. Okay, now again, I'm looking for videos, and 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 I'm not getting anything of the actual explosion. Doctor, and except for when they say, "Oh, this has been doctored." Okay. Yep. Where's the original video? The undoctored version of what they say is doctored. Where is that? Why is that not? You see, here's another thing, Cliff. Cliff, I really wish to hear your opinion on that. So, if the one video that is now down off of all the sites except for off of Twitter is doctored, why are also all of the other versions of that video that allegedly aren't doctored, why are those gone too? Why are those gone as well? I mean, this stuff is such. I mean, it is so crazy how they do this. How is it that, and it's over there. How is it that all the, if that one was doctored, why is the undoctored version of what is doctored off of the internet as well? Anyway. You are already debating me, dude. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Don't give me that nonsense. Don't give me that nonsense. And you're the only one that's responded. Yeah. Okay. And you respond in that kind of way. All right, don't give me that nonsense. Don't say you don't wish to do something when you're already doing it. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can get the blast 2 days ago. No, I don't think you should tell Bill what you. I basically told Bill what I thought about his behavior. I don't appreciate it, but I mean, I could use a little help if somebody wants to send me a link or do a little bit of legwork. I mean, all I'm doing is trying to put the most obvious words in, and I'm saying like, what happened to the video of the explosion? Why is that off the internet? Except to say that the one that shows the missile the best is gone, and the others show a missile. I don't know what else to say. All the other videos showed a missile. And when we ask for a video of the blast, this is what's showing up. Mike Cooper, you're a funny joker, man. You are a funny guy. Um, let's see if we can bring Mike Cooper on. Mike, we'd love to have you on the broadcast. See if you can come on, Mike. We'd love to see your face, Mike. Uh, okay. Hey, so we'll get into what I'll show everybody a little bit about my genetics and genealogy. Mike Cooper seems to be a little bit confused about things. Let's see your viewers. Let's see. Add add viewers to be in your broadcast. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Mike Cooper. Oh, no results. Oh well. All right, there. So yeah, there we have it. I'm having not very much luck finding the original video of the Beirut bombing. I mean, explosion. I mean, bombing by missile. All right, Beirut bombing video. Beirut bombing August 4th, 2020. Original Beirut blast. Let's say blast. And get that. We'll show, if it's the same video, we'll show that you can see the missile in that video as well. Okay, so we're going to look for videos. Not CNN, not something that's 21 freaking minutes. The actual blast that resulted in a mushroom cloud. Where'd all those videos go? I mean, it's we're asking for video, and what do we get? CNN, Washington Post, New York Post, New York Times, NPR. We're not getting anything just showing the original blast. It was all over YouTube for the past 3 days until last night when they took those. Oh, here we go. Israel not behind Beirut blast. Sources on both sides say. I saw the opposite of that. Yeah, I know, Cliff. Yeah, here come the CGI trolls. We saw the opposite of that. Clifford, how many headlines were we showing where Israeli officials were taking credit for this? I don't know what to say. Okay. KIRO. Okay. Okay, this doesn't look like a good angle, but this is from 3 days ago. Oh, and this is that VOA News. Oh my God. But anyway, let's see what they got. Okay, that's freaking garbage. This is what's left up on the fucking internet. This is what's left up. Man, you have got to be kidding me. 140,000 people watched that video. That's the worst video of the explosion. It shows nothing. All right, let's try this one. All right, this is from 2 days ago as well. And where's the video? Look, they write about all this. Look at all the writing. All they have to do is show the video. How is the video so hard to find? That's all one needs to see. Okay. Let's see. Is that going to be a video that pops up there? Let's hope so. Let's hope that's a video that's going to pop up there as soon as this crazy website gets to loading. Hey Cliff, I'm gonna invite you back on because like we gotta have banter at least before when we're loading all this stuff up. I gotta talk to somebody else because this stuff is it's all right. I'm gonna add you, Cliff, and figure out what we can do from here if there's the background noise. Because I'm becoming frustrated here. Cliff, what do you say there?
So the video I recently found, it's a news interviews and pundits at about 3:09. So the only video I see that's of the actual explosion that still circulates around is that one aerial shot, kind of going diagonally in. You see the flash that comes from the missile, and then you see the big mushroom cloud. But that seems to be what is left.
Right. That's what I'm so confused about. Can you send that link or maybe even show that link on your end? Because
I put a link in the chat. I can try.
I know, but can you like point like your phone to a computer or a TV screen or something?
I can try to pull it up.
Okay. So, I mean, this is how difficult it is. And I know when I saw the negative film for the original, that's the one I had seen that 15 or 20 times without being the negative version. I saw the original version of that 15 or 20 times. It was all over the internet. It was all over TV. The missile was shown. And so why is that, how can that be legitimate and legitimately disappearing?
Hey, Cliff, just do me a favor, please don't smoke in the house.
Okay, so this looks like it's aftermath. So, yeah,
okay. So you said at 3:09.
So that's not the. So I linked the video.
Much of Beirut is shattered this morning.
Okay, but this I'm just now searching. Okay, so maybe this is the shot. Okay.
Came the bang.
Okay, yeah. No.
Filmed from boats too, from what they thought was a safe distance. Whoa.
Okay, that was
filmed
something.
From passing cars miles away. A mushroom cloud hung over Beirut.
Is like an earthquake. It was like the nuclear bomb. I could.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's all the explosion.
Explosion.
They're just gonna show aftermath now.
All right, JD Davis. Hey, can you link that if you found it? Let's see. Where is it? Why do you say you found it if you didn't post it on there? That's the one I got. Oh, did he send that to you, Cliff?
No, I just found it searching on this phone.
Okay, so that's the one. So where is the one that we just showed the negative version of? That's what I wish to know.
What I've only seen your recording of that. I've not. That was the first time I saw that version.
Wow, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I saw a lot of that. I saw that many times before, and yeah, it just seems real strange that that all of the videos from the Beirut nuclear blast
Beirut explosion, Beirut blast. I mean, I'm not finding anything. And they were showing lots of videos of you know, everywhere, all over the internet. Who is tagging me? Somebody who used to anyway. Yes, they've taken them all down. I mean, that seems to be it. I mean, this is the kind of tactics that they use. And I don't know. What footage of the tells okay, I'm not interested in what it tells us. Where is the video? Where is the video? Yeah, that's what we've been seeing. After the original, they show us the wedding, they show us everything like that. Beirut explosion. Video shows new angle. This is from 30 minutes ago. A new angle. What about the original angle? Where's the original angle? New video shows closest angle. Where's the original? And of course, if you're closer, you're not going to see the missile. Let's see. 3 hours ago, 12 hours ago. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if.
It's interesting. British Lebanese mentioning Russia. I saw that article about them having Russian hospitals like opening up. It's like, oh, okay, so yeah, coordinated efforts as always.
Yeah, the Russian hospital opening up. That was very unusual as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get the video of what. And I'm not interested in any of the new angles. I'm interested in the original video, or video from 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So,
Are you specifically looking for the night vision one?
no, I'm not. I'm looking for that's
negative.
A negative. Yeah. Okay. So that was something. Cliff, play that last thing again. Okay, I see the missile there. Not there. All right. So trying to get Cliff. Can you play that from the beginning of where the explosions were?
Sure. Yeah, let me.
Tuesday, the 4th of August.
That first one. That's the one I'd like to. Those two. Those were decent angles. However, they were
Sky News.
Yeah. Okay. And JD just put something in the comments section, and I'm trying to get to that, but my computer is not cooperating. But
Go ahead and send you that link.
okay. I mean, I got the link. I'm just trying to get on my Facebook page to get it. Oh my God.
Oh, well, I was going to email it to you.
Okay. Email's good. Where did Bill Wright go?
I don't know.
Yeah, you still watching, Bill? I mean, because like this stuff, I don't mind. I don't mind because that's how I find out all of this stuff is just by going through and proving or disproving things one way or the other. Right here. Yeah, I'd really like to debate you, Bill, because I don't. Did you send me that?
Yeah,
Clip?
I emailed it to you.
All right, I haven't gotten it. This. All right. And you're sending me something different from what you played. Is that correct? Or are you sending me what you just played?
Yeah, I'm sending you what I just played.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I saw it.
If you okay. I don't know if you wanted to just have that video on hand.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's going to be good to have, definitely. But I mean, it's you just showed it. I don't know if it would show up any better from my
I mean,
end.
that's how I feel about this whole thing. I mean, with the minute I saw the negative version and could see the missile, I mean, it was just like, I mean, I already knew Israel did it. I mean, the question of how was just like, I mean, however they have to, but now we have the specifics. So, like, I mean, and it goes in tandem with what they've done before. Oh, it's a missile. That makes sense. They typically use missiles when they're bombing airports. It's like, why are they going to like doctor it now? Like, so again, it just all seemed pretty simple to me.
I mean, it does seem simple, and like how if you doctor it, they can say, okay, it's doctored here, it's doctored this way, it's doctored that way. Um, but and it looks like every other incident that they show us that they don't say is doctored. They just say, oh, hey, this missile is actually a plane.
There's two, or it becomes too available to, and comes off as DME or desperate.
Okay, so we're apologies. Okay, yeah, that was a good one. Right at the start of this sky news. Okay, so and the angles, they're different angles from
last week. I keep it balanced. So yeah, I'm just reminding myself nothing that reminds me to do. But
all right.
But Chris, I'm gonna have to head out here. I'm gonna be en route. But yeah, right. I mean it's a travesty. And most individuals, they're too lazy. They're too lazy to just like with the George Floyd thing. I'm surprised that they're letting that stay up where you see it's a CPR dummy. Like I'm not sure why they let certain things stay up and not others, but it all is very sinister, and most individuals seem to not wish to see through it. But what can you do?
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, Cliff. Well, hey, thanks. God bless. Hey, and Bill Wright says, I've seen all the videos you speak of and agree with you. It is frustrating. They have all been scrubbed. What is your issue with? My issue is that. I mean, my issue is you were the only one to respond. Unless the video has been doctored. And again, I ask you, do you have any expertise in this field? Do you know how it would be doctored? Do you know if it is doctored? I mean, we're seeing nothing from that angle, from the original angle that we have been seeing for the past 3 days before they decided to scrub everything down, including the negative and non-negative version of the blast. And so, if you have some reason to believe that, and that this is serious topics, that this is a serious thing. If you have reason to believe that it is doctored, then state it. Otherwise, you could say that with anything that you see. You could say that this video is doctored.
Well, I I don't know that it is doctored, and I don't know that it's not doctored or manipulated. How would somebody do that? If you don't know how somebody would do that, then then why say that any? I mean, is this doctored? Is that video doctored? How can you trust anything? That's my problem with questioning the validity of the video, because I don't see that it's doctored. If somebody that I know and trust that's an expert on CGI, like Ziggy Kelleher, if he came to me and said, "Hey, Chris, it's doctored, and here's how I can show you it's doctored," there's usually a way that you can that one can figure out whether it's doctored or not. Nobody is saying it's doctored before you now, that is not involved with everything that we stated at the beginning about the quote unquote fact checking. Well, good. You don't trust anything. Well, if you don't trust anything, then I don't trust that you'll be correct on much of anything. So if you don't trust anything, then I don't know what to say to you. I don't trust anything. What could have caused that? What's the most likely thing? That's what Clifford was saying about Occam's razor. Is it likely that they left all this bomb making material in a place where a fire would cause a gigantic mushroom cloud? Is that likely? Or is it more likely that the missile that you see in the video, that everyone saw in the video, is what caused it? Because they got rid of all those videos. They got rid of them, the negatives and the original. They got rid of all of them. And before they got rid of all of them, the president of Lebanon was saying, "Hey, it's just a fire. It's just the fault of these incompetent boobs that keep all this explosive mushroom cloud inducing materials all in one spot, which could catch on fire at any time, at exactly the same time that all these other gigantic fires are happening all over the world. It's just their fault," says the president. And then all of a sudden, everyone starts seeing these missiles in the video. And then all those videos go missing. But at the same time, the president of Lebanon goes, "Hey, wait a second. Wait just a second. It could have been these incompetent idiots at the port just leaving this stuff for years. But hey, we're going to change the story and say, like, it could be a missile. Donald Trump said it was a bomb from the beginning." So, in anyways, this is what it's all about, triangulating information. And I get very frustrated when individuals anonymously start, like, work their way in good. I mean, this has been going on for years. And then at the right time, at the right exact moment, just put some stuff out there just to, like, throw a spanner in the works. Yeah. Bill Wright says, "I believe a missile was used and sent by Mossad." Yes, that's obviously what happened. I just don't trust everything I see from the government's video. Who's to say it was the government's video? It could have been anybody's video. Yeah, this and that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, confusion spreading. This and that. Yes, I know. That's my phrase. It's never this or that. It's always this and that. Yes, that's what I said. The fire, the caused by what seems to be a first explosion, was the diversionary tactic away from the missile that hit the building. And what's with all the still shots again? So I've got screenshots too. I've got screenshots of the missile, and it's not the negative version of the video. Let's see if we can find some of the pictures of that. Let's see if we can find some of the pictures of the taken from the video showing the missile. All right, so all right, so yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it could have been from a satellite. It was a missile, though. I mean, are they shooting missiles from satellites? If so, then yeah, it could have been. But what I know is that I have seen evidence of a missile. Evidence of a missile. And we'll see if we can find the screenshots, the still shots of the missile right before it hits. Right before it hits. So hopefully this computer will load up and we'll get to this stuff. All right. And this is going to take a little while, so bear with me. Another thing we're going to get to, and I'm glad that Michael Cooper, I've seen that freaking schmuck before many times, trolling the account. He says my mother is Gina Haspel or something like that. We'll see if we can locate whatever. But yeah, I'm going to show, as I have before, a little bit of the genealogy of the people of God. And when I say people of God, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I'm, anything other than what I am, a bloodline descendant of the Israelite kings and queens, the pharaonic line, one and the same thing, and that those we people are, we the people of God are descendants of the royalty of the royal houses of Europe. And it's not saying much. I mean, I love my brother, but he's that too. I'll tell you one thing about me. I in the large scale of things, I pick the side and stand and fight with the side that is always correct, morally right, and up to this point in my lifetime, always loses. I.e., what you see, what you see here today. Oh, here it is. Here we go. So there you go. That's a screenshot of that. Now, obviously, that could be doctored too, but and here we go. Let's see. Israeli politicians celebrating Beirut's nuclear type. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Beirut under attack. So you can see whatever. If you read that bastardized Hibernian fake Hebrew, see, Israeli politician celebrating Beirut's nuclear-type massive explosion. There we go. And there's that guy doing it. There's that schmuck, that Israeli guy doing that. Okay. Yeah, a Rothschild relative, Mike Cooper. Okay, so let's see if we can bring Mike Cooper on. Okay, so my mother's name is Carol Christine Gruber Dorsey. Her father, his name is Leon Gruber, and that's my grandfather. And her mother's name is Melchora Brandt. Okay, so we got this guy Michael Cooper saying I'm a Rothschild relative. So let's take a look. Let's take a look and see. Let's see. YouTube. Let's see. Militia Intelligence Report. YouTube. Okay. So we'll watch a video. Let's see. Let's videos. So we're gonna get right to it. Yeah, the Synagogue of Satan. They gloated about their attack. So there we see. This is what's going on. A couple months ago, everybody made a prisoner of war through mask mandate. Fed has infinite cash, all this stuff, that stuff, and the other. Okay, so we'll keep going and going and going. And we'll go and go and go. We'll get to my genealogical records. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. King of England, Freemasonry, Bible, Constitution, basis of all law. Oh, here we go. Genealogical records made public. Okay, so we'll go to this. And before I do this, I'll say this. I'll name my parents and my grandparents, and then you can go. Anyone can go to pretty much go to FamilySearch.com, and they can see my verified connections to the kings and queens of Europe, going back to the high kings of ancient Ireland, and I mean everywhere in Europe, but that's where they come into being in in um, in I guess it's not modern, it's ancient, but in the ancient monarchical systems of Europe. So my grandfather's name is Benjamin Wrench Dorsey Jr. My grandmother, his wife's name was um, Vita Shoebridge Ludwig, and so that's my grandfather's names were Benjamin Wrench Dorsey Jr. and Leon Gruber. We'll follow those lines. And my grandmother's names were Melchora Brandt and Vita Shoebridge Ludwig. So we'll play this. See if read out and I'll tell you a little bit about each one of these names and where we can trace them back to. And I'm just gonna go. This is Trissa Voldi. We're gonna talk about the genealogical records, my genealogical records, um, and this is the levels. These are my parents. these are my parents right here. Benjamin Wrench Dorsey, the third, and Carol Christine Gruber. So we're going to go back from them. My grandfather on my father's side is Benjamin Wrench Dorsey Jr. My grandmother on my father's side is Vida Shoebridge Ludwig. My grandfather on my mother's side is Leon Frederick Gruber, and my grandmother on my mother's side is Melchora Hilda Brandt. So when you go back another generation on my father's side, and I'll show you where all this goes, and I trace it back hundreds and hundreds of years. No Jews in the genetic testing, and very specific. And the genetic testing matches up exactly with the genealogy. Benjamin Wrench Dorsey Sr., his wife, my great great grandmother on my father's side is Orpha Butterball or Butterball. We'll go through the nationalities of these individuals if you don't already know. The father of Vida Shoebridge Ludwig is Carl Friedrich Ludwig. He was the editor of the Cumberland Times in Cumberland, Maryland, and was the distribution manager of the Hagerstown Herald Mail, where he worked for his entire career. Most of his life, even as a teenager, he worked there. He was a trained blacksmith, and he worked several years as the news editor of the Cumberland Times, but spent the rest of the time at his job running the Hagerstown Herald Mail in Hagerstown, Maryland. His wife was Vida Inez Shoebridge. The father of Leon Frederick Gruber is Richard Reynolds Gruber. His wife is Grace E. Klopper. I knew that woman as grandma. That was my great grandmother. I knew her very well. That was the only one of my great grandparents that I've ever met or have known. Melchora Hilda Brandt. Her father's name was Edgar Howard Brandt, and was married to Agnes C. Taylor. So if you go up the next rung, it is John W. Dorsey. That's my great grandfather. Elizabeth A. Rowe, spelled R-O-W-E. A lot of folks think that is Scottish or Irish or English, but it's actually a German name, or Swiss German name. Jacob O. Butterball, Anna M. Utz, like the Utz potato chips. Then there's Friedrich Ludwig, who was married to Elisabetha Weber, also obviously old Germans from Baden, Germany. Then you go across Willard Faulkner Shoebridge, married Suzanne Celeste Valentine. Jacob Henry Gruber, married Amanda E. Worrell. Franklin J. Klopper, married Mary M. Carbaugh. Zophar Pascoe Brandt, married Mary Frances Backdorf. Joseph H. Taylor, married Nancy Barber, or Nancy Barber. There you can see this. The genealogical records match up. So we're going to segue from. All right. So there you go, Mike Cooper. You can go to Family Search DNA or WikiTree or Genie.com, and you can see all that. So I'll go a little further here. So we'll start looking at these genealogical records. And again, this is just this is yeah, this is just showing you, hey, like what we're talking about with the people of God and what that means. Because if you don't know, I mean, again, I know these things. I'm communicating them to the public, and you know, I'll tell you, the folks that are most successful in this system is like they know a lot and they don't tell anybody anything that's important to know. That's what I'm telling you about what it is that they do. That's what I'm telling you about what it is that these folks who are successful in this system. And like I said, hey, to me it's not that big of a deal. Like to I mean it's interesting, but I also know that hey, my brother and my mom and dad, they they obviously they have the same blood. They it's meaningless to them. It doesn't mean a thing. Um, you know, I, I've picked a different kind of side. I don't only know about my ancestors, but I do my best to honor them and honor God. I mean, I know what the difference between honorable and dishonorable is. I know the difference between what's truth and what's not truth. I know the difference. I mean, again, if one's going to question what I'm doing, it is it's essential to put in a lot of work, a lot of work, and be able to say something other than just like, oh, I dispute everything. I'm skeptical of everything. So what? You gotta prove something one way or another. All right, so let's look here and see what we got. Okay, let's see. We'll start somewhere else. All right, we're looking for a good place to start with our genealogical records here. Let's see if we can get here. Let's just go to family search. Family search. No. Let's go. Grace Klopper. We'll start with somebody I knew personally. I mean, it's interesting. I'm sad to say that my father's mother, she passed away about when I was about a year old. Okay, so make sure everything is normal here. And so we're going through some stuff here. And so I didn't unfortunately did not have a chance to know her, but I was lucky enough to um, know this woman who I am going to show is is I guess tied to all the royal houses of Europe, and she's my grandmother. What can be there? You're a funny guy, man. You're a funny guy, Bill. What's your real name, Bill? And can you like identify yourself again? I know you said your name before, but like, can you identify yourself? Okay, so we'll go here. All right. And so that's Grace Klopper. There's my great grandfather, Richard Reynold Gruber, and her son, their son, I knew, Elmer Chalmers Dodd, but that was not my blood grandfather. So there we go. So we go from Grace Klopper, John Wesley Carbaugh, married to Margaret Greer. Then we go up, and there we go. Jacob Carbaugh, Robert Smith Espy, Lena Spangler. Okay, so there we go up. And we have there. You're seeing this. Lena Spangler. Then we go to Ignatius Nathaniel Leitner, married to Margaret Rudder. And Margaret Rudder, her parents were Joseph Rudder and Barbara Buchler. And there's Conrad Rudder. And we'll get to Conrad Rudder and his wife. I'll show you this. So in case you get confused about that, Rudder. And Jane Douglas, because this is important. Those are two important individuals. Let's see. Okay. Rudder, genealogy, Jane or Margaret Douglas. See, Conrad Rudder was, I guess, one of the founders of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Not the of Philadelphia, but Germantown, a certain part of Philadelphia. Okay. So here we go. All right. Lancaster. Yeah, he's one of the original settlers of Lancaster, Pennsylvania as well. Let's see. Conrad reportedly married twice, the second time to Jane or Margaret Douglas. His children were named Andrew, Elizabeth, Joseph, Peter, and Conrad. All right. Let's see. And we'll get more into them because this is where verifying stuff and Colin Derby from L2. That's okay, fair enough. Just looking to identify you. All right, so okay. Jane Douglas. They have it as Margaret Douglas on Wiki. Conrad Rudder. Bear with me. Margaret Margaret Douglas. Margaret Elizabeth Rudder Douglas. So we believe it was Jane Douglas, but we'll show you how Jane Douglas and Margaret Elizabeth Rudder, nay Douglas, is the same person. Here we go. Lord Archibald Douglas, who was one of the very few individuals in America, and we told you why this is important. Who was 90 seconds. Who was titled colonist, and he was someone that was involved with the founding of Delaware and Pennsylvania. So we're following his line. Sir William Douglas. And here we go. So we're going to take that to Mary Fleming. And I'm related to Mary Fleming on my mother and my father's side. All right, so there's Mary Fleming. She was one of the ladies in waiting for Mary Queen of Scots. So her father was John, 5th Lord Fleming. And then you go to Malcolm Fleming, 3rd Lord Fleming, and his wife Janet Stewart. And Janet Stewart's father was James the 4th, King of Scotland. So there you go with all of that entails. And we can take that back to the Royal House of Denmark. And then, of course, James the Second, or James the Third's great-grandfather was James the First, married to, let's see, let's keep that going. Beaufort, and her great-grandfather was Edward the Third. So there we go. Joan Beaufort, Queen of Scots. So there's James the First. Then we'll go to Joan Beaufort, Queen of Scots. And then we'll say, well, there's Joan Beaufort. Her father was John of Gaunt, the son of Edward the Third of England, King Edward the Third, and Queen Philippa of Hainault. And then we take that back to all the German king. But we got there well before that. So there you go. So we'll just do the same thing and show you Margaret Rudder, née Douglas, and Jane Douglas are the same person. I've got plenty of documentation, and we'll show you that this is showing the same thing. Let's see, William Douglas. There we go. Mary Fleming. Mary Fleming. Yeah, we'll show you Mary Fleming and John Fleming. Mary Fleming, Sir James Douglas, because they screw around with this a lot. Fleming, James Douglas. All right, so where are we going here? Mary Fleming, Douglas. Let's see. Here we go. We got a Wikipedia page for John Fleming, where that's a little mistake shown by Dagon. Here, we'll show you where the mistake lies. They say, "Oh, John Fleming." Ooh, where's that? Where's that? Okay, we'll show you. He was a son of Malcolm Fleming. We just showed you that on another website that seems to be a little better up to date than is the LDS site, which is called Family Search, which is just showing. Lord High Chamberlain. Let's see. This is John Fleming, 5th Lord Fleming, was the son of Malcolm Fleming, 3rd Lord Fleming, Lord High Chamberlain by his wife Johanna or Jonet Stewart, natural daughter of James the Fourth. Okay, so that's that. So that is that's not unusual. There's, like I said, when looking through my genealogy, I'm related to a lot of these individuals through several different sources. So we can show you some stuff. I guess I'll show you a little bit on my father's side. And again, like I was telling you, Willard Faulkner Shoebridge. Let's see where this is. Vida Inez Shoebridge. That's my great grandmother, who was the mother, or so Vida Inez Shoebridge. She married Friedrich Ludwig. All right, and we'll just verify all this stuff and then we'll move forward, because I just wish to show you how this works. And what this has to do with stuff is that you notice, I would say I have a lot of English ancestry. Shoebridge is English, but you'll see a lot of mix between Scottish and German bloodlines, because that's who was around in this part of. And there's my grandmother, there's my great grandmother, and my great grandfather right there. So then we'll go to my great grandmother's tree on this, and we'll go again to different sources, and then we'll show books that verify all this stuff. Okay, so there's Willard Faulkner Shoebridge. Shoebridge is an English name. Most of the others are, a lot of them are Scottish. So we'll take James Shoebridge back. And there we go. Here's, so James W. Shoebridge married Margaret Stedman. His father's name was John S. Shoebridge. Mother, Catherine Stedman. Then Margaret Stedman and Carnegie. Obviously, you know those are ancient Scottish names. So then we'll keep going. James Stedman. There we go. There we go. So you don't see any Rothschilds in here, and you guys can take whatever you wish. I'm just verifying, proving everything wrong. All these other jokers we call out, I know how to recognize a Jew, and by, I guess, some individuals, whatever theories, that when I see a Jew and they say, "Oh no," like Ryan Dawson says, I'm Irish and Native American," he's clearly a Jew. Or Adam Green, and he says, "I'm not Jewish," blah blah blah. They can't ever prove it. They don't have any blood tests. They don't have anything like that. Okay, so we go Sarah Inglace, Robert Stedman. So we'll keep going. Let's see. Is that right? What am I doing right here? Okay, so then we'll go here. Alexander. So a lot of these folks, they have, you may not have ever heard of them, but they'll have Wikipedia pages. Inglace, Eupheme, Skeen. Okay, so here we go. Eupheme, Skeen, Inglace. Ancestors. Let's see. There you go. There's Margaret Fleming again. You see all right. So let's see. Go Patrick Murray and so here we go. So you see a lot of different names that you may recognize or may not. So here we go. Margaret Stewart, Matthew Stewart, Elizabeth Hamilton, James Hamilton, Mary Stewart, James Stewart. There he is. James Stewart, son of King James Stewart I and Joan Beaufort. And there you see Joan Beaufort goes back to Joan Plantagenet. And here, Fitz-Alan, that's the Stuart line as well. Those are the Stuart lines of kings. So Joan Plantagenet goes back to, excuse me, Edward Plantagenet, Edward I. So there you go. And actually goes back. Joan Beaufort, John Plantagenet, and actually here. In a different spot, that's Edward III. Edward III right there. Okay. So in any event, why I'm showing you this is because this is what we've been saying for a long time. Again, I know this stuff. I've triangulated information and listened to a lot and listened to and read so much information about the occult reasons for things, and everything important is occulted. Everything important is esoteric, and dare I say, everything important is Kabbalistic by the purest definition of the Ka and the Ba, which means soul. Ka and Ba means soul. So what we know is America was formed, that there was already an infiltration of the royal lines, certain royal lines, and going back to the Edict of Expulsion, if when Edward the First, and you just saw that that's on many sides. I mean, on both sides of my family, on many different lines. My ancestry goes back to my distant grandfather, Edward the First, who instituted the Edict of Expulsion. And so another thing I know is most folks, they do what's best for them. If they've got good motivation, then they do what's best for them, and what's best for them is what's best for everyone else who is doing good. And if they got bad motivation, what's best for them is what's good for them, and not necessarily, and in most cases, bad for other individuals. So when Edward I instituted or put out the Edict of Expulsion, the lawfully the so-called Jews of England were his personal property. They were his direct property. They paid direct taxes to him, not to the earls, not to the barons, not to the lords of the manor, as were all the other English subjects. They had a direct connection to the king. The so-called Jews of England were the king's personal property. This was laid out by another Plantagenet king. This even went before, before the Magna Carta. But the Magna Carta spells out that the Jews of England are the property of the King of England. They're property. So there is benefit to the King of England. I'm for the Jews to, I don't know, like, do things that he can't do. He can't really charge usury because that's illegal. I'm talking about King John. I'm talking about, King Henry III. And I'm talking about King Edward I. They can't really charge usury, and they are getting a little bit of a financial, in theory, they're getting a financial benefit from the Jews, which are the personal property of the king, according to the law, the common law. So I'm just trying to explain this to you. I know all this stuff. You can find it out yourself. I'm giving you every little hint. Nobody really explains this stuff. I will say I love Michael Tazarian. I love his work because he lays all the stuff out and goes beyond just giving hints. Most of the other stuff is just hints. It's, does this check out? I heard this person mention this in the 40 hours of information on TalkShoe that I heard this person talk about. I heard them mention this. That's important more than the rest of the other stuff that maybe even they touch on more. Check this out. There's a way of discerning things. And I don't like to be insulted, when it comes to discernment. I don't like my strategies used against me or anything like that. I'm just explaining to you about things. So, there came a point during the reign of Edward I, and even before that, when the Jews of England, the so-called Jews of England, those who say they're Jews but are not, the Synagogue of Satan, got to be too out of hand. They were bankrupting the country. They were bankrupting the barons. They were bankrupting the lords. This was happening during the time of John the First, or King John. I guess there's only one, so, of England. So they put more restrictions, but then they were getting into their usury, and the main thing was they were clipping and sweating coins, devaluing the currency by first 25%, then 50%, and they were indebting too many individuals. So, like, they went at him. Henry II went at him. Excuse me. Henry III went after him. John went after him. Edward went after him, and it didn't work. Started executing the ringleaders of the coin clipping and coin sweating schemes, and it didn't work. It didn't work. They couldn't help themselves. Sound familiar? They couldn't help themselves. So it came to a point where Edward had to do something different, because it went from, keeping his barons and his earls and his and the other noblemen at bay, utilizing the Jews, which came to England with William of Normandy, also known as William the Conqueror, also known as William the Bastard. So they came over with the Norman nobles. They were brought over then, and at that point they were put under the jurisdiction of the kings of England, and the kings of England utilized them. And I'll tell you, my experience in life is nothing is all good. There's a way in which we have to decide whether things are going to be, more bad than good or more good than bad. There's no black and white really decisions, when it comes to certain things. And so Edward the First decided, all right, enough with the usury, and we're going to institute the Edict of Expulsion, which expelled all the Jews, all the so-called Jews from England. So there was an issue with that. They were a revenue maker for the kings of England for years, and they just could not be controlled. So again, in modern day, Seinfeld's a good TV show, but would America be better without the Synagogue of Satan in it? Even if we had to say no more Seinfeld, or if that had been decided beforehand, the world would probably be a better place. Still, there would be, if we had the same kind of television technology, there would probably be more humorous and entertaining things coming out other than Seinfeld. So it probably would have been a good idea. So Edward the First decided, yeah, enough with these guys. We're going to get rid of them, and we're going to lawfully execute some of them on the way out for their treason. And so they did. And so Edward the First made one of the greatest decisions, and one of the things I'm most proud of in my ancestry. He expelled the Synagogue of Satan out of England, and it was great. Everybody loved it. They were so happy. Edward the First is possibly the greatest monarch in the history of England. So there you have it. So time passed on, and there's always been dynastic struggles, the so-called War of the Roses, the English Civil War. But during the latter, after the latter, I should say, where the parliamentarians defeated the monarchists, basically Cromwell defeated the Jacobites, that's the Stuart line and their supporters. At that point, the Synagogue of Satan, the so-called Jews, were brought back into the realm of England, into the kingdom of England. And at about that time, and before, there were some issues. Actually, I think it might have been, did William of Orange bring back the Jews, or anyways, maybe he was financed. But at about this time, that's when the English colonies in the Americas started forming. And those colonies were set up. I know it was by design, but everything is set up by a divine design, that the bloodline um, uh, descendants of the royal lines of Europe, England, Ireland, Scotland, Denmark, Holland, Spain, France, Russia, Sweden, Norway, etc. They started all coming together in the United States of America. And what I know is that Americans, I guess, by ethnicity, Americans are mostly German. About 16% of the population has majority German DNA. And then it goes to about 15% Irish, majority Irish DNA. Then it goes down to majority English DNA and Scottish DNA, between 10 and 12% of the population. And it's becoming lower, unfortunately. And this cannot be. We cannot tolerate that, and that's one of the most important things to prevent. But in a lot of the parts of the country, the Irish and Scots are intermarrying and combining genetics and DNA with the Germans. And as you can see, this goes back to our combined DNA goes back to Charles the Great, Charlemagne, the Merovingians, the mayors of the palace. We've been through this dozens and dozens of times on this show, over and over again. You've been told, and so, whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree. These are the facts, and this is about discernment. And Colin Derby you didn't identify yourself at all. So no picture, no way of saying like, hey, this is me. And no bona fides as why, other than you listen to this program, which is, I'm certain. I saw somebody I went to that is a fraternity brother of mine watching earlier. I know this is, for everyone listening, this is the most important education you've ever received. This is it. Everything else, it really doesn't matter. So what we have in America is, by design, a people of God royal bloodline. Max, no. Max is trying to tear up the couch. He has torn up the couch and proceeded to pull the stuffing out of the couch. So I normally don't raise my voice at Max, but he knows that he wants to do that, and he will do that when I'm busy doing a broadcast, and won't stop him. But thank you for stopping, Max. So in any event, my apologies. that these lines, they mean something. And what you see in Europe now is, especially in the royal houses of Europe, has been infiltrated by families like the Rothschilds, but they knew that, and so they started forming these American colonies. And ancestors of mine, like Lord Archibald Douglas, started immigrating to the United States. Let's see. Archibald. Lord Archibald Douglas. Look this guy up. Lord Archibald Douglas. All right, so let's see what's going on with him. And he will be a great example. So there you see the ship. There you go. Lord Archibald Douglas, born Edinburgh, Scotland, 1665, death Kent County, Delaware, United States, 1728. So let's see what's going on with him. Lord Archibald Douglas had 2 daughters and 5 sons. All right. He left Scotland to oversee lands in Northern Ireland. Anglican. He was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. I found a death note in Kent, Delaware. He apparently left Scotland after his brother John was killed in the Scottish skirmishes. So there you go. He turned his Scottish property over to his sister, who married Lord Horne. His daughters were Margaret, born 1685, who married Conrad Bacher Rudder. Let's see. So there we have it. There we have it. So Scottish skirmishes. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here. And when was that? Let's see. Let's take a look at the Scottish skirmishes. All right. Scottish. Skirmish. So I'm probably misspelling skirmishes, but it should get up there. Skirmishes. Let's see. All right, Scottish skirmishes. We'll look this up. All right. Anglo-Scottish Wars, 9 Years' War. Is this? Is this the one? No, I don't think so. I think it might be a different Scottish border skirmishes. I don't think that's it either. But we'll look up Scottish skirmishes, Archibald Douglas. Look up John Douglas. John Douglas. John Douglas. Okay. So we're looking up Scottish skirmishes, John Douglas. All right, we're not finding too much about that. But in any event, yeah, this seems to be some sort of dynastic struggle to force um, uh, to force Archibald Douglas, Lord Archibald Douglas, um, to go to the United States. Archibald Douglas, not actually, it wasn't the United States then. My apologies. The American colonies. Archibald Douglas, Lord Archibald Douglas. Let's see. Lord Archibald Douglas. Let's see what it says, which one he is. So we'll see what his father was. All right. All right. So we're going to try to find. Huh. Anyhow, we shall find Lord Archibald Douglas, Delaware. And this would probably be Pennsylvania as well. All right, so we'll look under Douglas history. And this wiki tree, Archibald Douglas. All right. So let's see. Archibald Douglas. Douglas. Mary Fleming. So we'd already been over that. Trying to find information about his life in Delaware and Pennsylvania. We see that is listed. Here it says, maybe it has some information here. Yeah, we'd already been over that information. I thought I saw information about how he chartered a ship for he and his friends and family. Left Scotland when his brother was killed. We'd already read that information. Let's see. Here it says around 1726, Archibald chartered a ship and brought his family, close friends, and possessions and landed at Newcastle, Delaware. All right. So there you go. Let's see. DouglasHistory.co.uk. Let's see if this is the same Archibald Douglas. It looks to be the same Archibald Douglas. All right. Well, there we go. This is just about the founding of America and how it is that certain bloodlines and certain families are meant to be in control, in charge, and how when we when we steer away from our values and those who are um, the people of God. And when I say the people of God, I'm referencing the people of the Bible, the Israelites, the Pharaonic line, um, uh, those who are descendant from them. That is the bloodline of the royal houses of Europe and how they have been leading up to, I guess, individuals like myself, and saying that there's lots of us out there, um, that we have a bloodline, that we are the people of God of the Bible, and that it is our birthright to reign here in America and in Europe. And I guess, I mean, I'll lay claim to all of Europe, all of Australia, all of New Zealand, all of Canada, and all of America, and out of largesse, say, hey, everybody else can join in as well. I'm just saying that everything is being done wrong. We've called every single thing out, every step of the way. We have identified ourselves when folks, are are way off base and make certain claims like, what's that guy, Mike Cooper? Where you at, Mike Cooper? I guess you're not really saying too much anymore. I know this stuff because I know about my genealogy. I know where I came from. I'll show you something else. I'll show you something else real quick. Dorsey DNA Project. All right. So, Dorsey DNA Project. Here we go. So, my blood DNA is R-M22. That's it. That's what it is. And I'll show you. I'll show you how I know, and I'll show you how it's verified. I didn't do it. Like I said, hey, my brother was I think he was like, no, like there were number like 650,000 other individuals to do the Human Genome Project when he did his. And now I don't buy the basis of a lot of the Human Genome Project, but basically when doing genetic sequencing, it's like it's one of those things that that's like if somebody hits a baseball during a baseball game and it goes over the fence, then it's a home run. And if somebody has a certain genetic sequence, then that's their genetic sequence. One can't really, um, fudge it too much. You can't you can't uh, um, you can't say that J2 is R1B. You can't do that. In other words, for folks who know what I'm talking about, you can't fudge it too much. What I do disagree with the Human Genome Project completely is the fact that they say civilization originated in Africa and then went east from that point. That's absurd. It did not. It was west to east. Civilization started in what we now know as Ireland and then moved east. Then there's every bit of proof to verify that, and there's nothing to refute that in any sort of way. So yeah, I say, yeah, what can be refuted shall be refuted. So I'm about to show you something. Let's see if I can find it. Is that it? No. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is my haplogroup right here. So basically, I can't say that there's lots of individuals, relatively, compared to the rest of the population of the world, there are not that many R-M222. Now that means anyone with this, that they have the bloodline, that they have the Y-DNA haplogroup that is the legitimate king of England, Ireland, and Scotland, and is the most closely related to those of the royal biblical line. All right, so that's R-M222. So let's look up and see what it says about R-M222. R-M222. Let's see. So there you see it's lots in Scotland, lots in Ireland. The Dorsey DNA seems to most come from directly from Ireland, and allegedly there's something called the Island of Dorseys off of the coast of County Cork. Let's see. Northwest Irish, spread of blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens when we look at this. High Kings. All right, so R-M22. It's the lineage of Nile of the Nine's hostages. Let's see. Nile of the Nine hostages. Nile's traditional list of High Kings of Ireland. R-M22 subclade. R-M22 Royal O'Neill clan. Are you a descendant of Irish High King, Irish King, Nile of the Nine hostages? And we won't get to this tonight, but we'll go through something that we've already been through many times before. And that's John O'Hart's patrilineal line from Adam through the High Kings of Ireland to the modern kings of England, with I guess no sort of lag, nothing missing. So we'll go to the ancient Irish origins of the Dorsey family. Let's see. All right, historical accounts of the origin of the Dorsey surname and its variants. Let's see. See if we can get that. to be a little larger. And I don't know why it's so small. But it says there's no justification for the Darcys of Munster and Connacht, with very few exceptions, using the Dorsey because they were of native Irish stock. Their name is a corruption of the Gaelic O Dorshide, which was first anglicized as O Dorsey. There were two minor septs, so called. One in County Mayo was located near Partry, near Loch Mask, and in East Galway was a branch of the Uman in the Annals of Loch Kay. The name McDarcy appears as that of County Leitrim chieftain. Sorry, my eyesight's not good, and some reason it's real small writing. I don't know whether I hit something wrong to make it small or what happened, but in any event, we'll just keep going. Da 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 da. So Darcy and Dorsey is different. It's a different sort of thing. So let's get to, here we go. There is no lack of powerful historic royal lineage in Irish history and mythology. One of the most remarkable and powerful of these lineages is in medieval Gaelic Ireland was the Unail, descendants of the ancient king Niall of the Nine Hostages. Further testing with surnames historically associated with the Unail lineage showed a predominant number of those men, as compared to the general population, carry the Irish modal haplotype. The authors propose that the IMH is the haplotype for Niall of the Nine Hostages. Of course, all other lines from Niall's uncles, brothers, and male line relatives will also carry the signature, with a slight variant caused, of course, by mutations over the course of many generations. The man, I can't even make that out. FRIACHYCH, descendants of the older brother of Niall, are reported ancestors of James Rive Darcy. Excuse me. So it goes on and talks about the differences between the Irish modal haplotype, the Wilson's Northwest haplotype, the Irish lineage for the Dorsey DNA project, and something called the Clan Kala haplotype. Okay, here's some discussion. Based on O'Hart's pedigree, linking the Galway Darcy to Freakra, and Burke's pedigree linking the Darcys of Kiltura, to the Galway Darcys, we would expect the DNA of the Darcys of blah to match the O'Neill Irish modal haplotype. But they do not. They do not. So let's get into Let's see. This isn't even what I'm looking for, I don't think. So let's see. One more thing. Okay. This will be the last thing that we're going to do. I really wish I hadn't gotten into this tonight, but it's important to me at least. And I'm doing the broadcast, obviously. All right. Let's see, maybe results overview. No. All right. So we're getting back into this. This is kind of getting into complicated inside baseball. Let's see. This. I saw this earlier today. Wow, it's getting late. All right, so all right, that's a lot of what we just read. All right, well, anyway, what I'm trying to show here is what I'm trying to find, I should say, is the connection between the Nile of the Nine Hostages father and the R-M22Y DNA haplogroup, and how this is coming into coincidence with the results of this DNA testing. For example, here, we'll show you just this results overview. Okay, so this is lineage 1A, and this is for the, I guess, founding fathers of Maryland, John and Edward Dorsey. So we'll go down to proposed haplogroup for Edward Dorsey. And then we'll go there. Click that. And we'll show you this. R1B, 1B, 2A, 1B, 5B. And we'll show you what that means. Nile of the Nine Hostages. Nile, STR pattern. R1B, 1B, 2A, 1B, 5B. Okay. So we'll look up Dorsey, Nile of the Nine Hostages. Let's see what we find here. All right, and we'll talk about. Here we go. All right. Looking for information. John O'Hart. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. John O'Hart. And we established that O'Darshadeh is that's what everybody with the last name, or most everyone with the last name Dorsey, if they have their Irish origins and not a um, Norman Irish origins, which I'm related to Darcy's, which is Norman Irish on both my parents' sides of the family. John O'Hart presents an impressive pedigree for O'Darshadeh line back to Fiacra, an elder brother of Nile of the Nine hostages, the 126th monarch of Ireland. The pedigree offered by O'Hart places Seamus James Riabach D'Arcy as a fifth generation descendant of the early Galway settler Batar Riabach O'Darshadeh, a 10th generation descendant of Fiacra, son of Iaki Moyvain, the 124th monarch of Ireland, father of Niall of the Nine hostages. In tribes, Fiacra, O'Donovan mentions Dorshaday as one of the two ruling families of Part Trehi. O'Hart mentions O'Darchaday or O'Dorchy as chiefs of Partray or Partry. All right, so finally got that out. That's what I wanted to get. I know it takes a while. I mean, this is what this stuff is all about. It's really difficult to get to the bottom of things. Again, Dorsey, where does that name come from? A lot of folks get it confused. They think it comes from de Arce, or this spelling, D dash Arcy, meaning from Arce. And there's a lot of Darcys in Ireland and in England who have that background, that genealogical background. And I do as well. But that's not where my last name comes from. That is ancient Irish. It is the same as the line of the Irish High Kings, and genius genealogists like John O'Hart verify this. And so does O'Donovan, and basically everyone who looks into this stuff. So this is what I'm talking about when I say I know these things. It's because I triangulate the information, and I folks can throw out barbs like, oh well, that DNA company is owned by Jews or something like that. It doesn't matter. It's a sequence. It definitely, everything matches up with the genealogical records, and it is a sequence that matches up with the most adept genealogists, and it matches up with the DNA testing as well. So again, I mean, this is. I'll show. We'll show you this. John O. Hart, Irish pedigrees. I think that that probably won't take us. Patrilineal Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, we're gonna try one more thing, and then we'll say we'll do it next week because we've done this before. Library of Ireland monarchs, England, and I'm gonna show you this thing if I can get it. The lineal descent of the royal family of England. Here we go. This is what I'm looking at. Let's see. Foreman wrote in the 18th century, Grace Antiquity, the Grace Antiquity, which the august House of Hanover. They're not really legitimate kings of England or England itself can boast. It deduced from the royal stem of Ireland. The following table carefully exhibits the royal stem of Ireland, from which the present royal family of England derives its lineal descent. So it can't really, a Hanoverian can't really do that because they wouldn't have that R-M22Y DNA haplogroup. But let's start with like some decent individuals and go like, yeah, Mary Queen of Scots. There we go. James V of Scotland, Margaret, daughter of Elizabeth of York, Richard Plantagenet, son of Lady Anne Mortimer, Roger Mortimer, son of Lady Philippa, married Edward Mortimer, Lionel, Duke of Clarence, son of Edward III, Edward II, Edward I. We've seen all that stuff. So we saw again. Let's start up here. James V, son of Margaret. So we showed you my genealogical line to James IV and Edward III. So we're going back, related to all these individuals, obviously. So let's keep going. So then we get into some Scottish kings, going back to the line of the what was that? Let's see, what is that house? King Duncan. King Duncan of Scotland. We'll get his house up here in a second. Dunkeld. Yeah, the House of Dunkeld. So we go back to the House of Dunkeld and we keep going back. Then we go to Malcolm II, Kenneth, Malcolm I, Donald, Constantine, Kenneth McAlpine, Alpine, Eochi. We keep going back, keep going back. There we go. Let's see. and then we're getting back into, here we go, in AD 498, Fergus more Mac Irka, in the 20th year of the reign of his father, Murdak, son of Owen, son of Niall of the Nine Hostages, with 5 or more of his brothers, another Fergus, 2 named Loran, and 2 named Aeneas, with a complete army, went into Scotland to assist his grandfather, who was king of Dalradia, and who was much oppressed by his enemies, the Picts, who were in several battles and engagements, vanquished and overcame by Fergus and his party, whereupon the king's death, which happened about the same time, the said Fergus was unanimously elected and chosen king, as being of blood royal by his mother, and said Fergus was the first absolute king of Scotland of the Milesian race, so the succession continued in his blood and lineage forever, according to the Scottish Chronicle. So there you go. So forever, the blood lineage to this day of the kings of Scotland. So the royal blood, it came from Ireland, then it went to Scotland, and then to England. As we say, I mean, we say this every week. We say this every single week. So we're just verifying it. According to Scottish chroniclers, it was AD 424. Fergus, blah, blah, blah. Did we just say that? Fergus More Mac Irka went from Ireland to Scotland. Before him, the Milesian kings in that country were kings only of the part called Dalradia, of which Lorne, the grandfather of Fergus More Mac Irka, Irish son of Irka, daughter of Lauren, was the last king. So we go back down. Here we go. Fergus More Mac Irka, the brother of Murto More Mac Irka, the 131st monarch of Ireland, son of Murdak, son of Owen, son of Niall More, known as Niall of the Nine Hostages, son of Eokada Mer Mead Huin, or Eoki Moivone, monarch, son of Murdoch Tirich, or Tira, 122nd monarch of Ireland. So there we have it. I guess we made a full circle. For those paying attention, this stuff is irrefutable. So there, I'm glad. I thank you, Bill Wright, Colin Derby from El Toro, California. I thank you, even though I don't like you. I don't like that kind of nonsense that that you were pulling before. But it got us to the point where we're showing again the royal stem, where it comes from, and what royal blood means. And we have shown in previous broadcasts the direct line from here. Let's see if we can show it right now. One more thing. Okay, so hopefully this will come up before too long. In any event, what I'm going to attempt to show you is the line coming from Joseph of Arimathea directly to Nile of the nine hostages. Let's see, Joseph. All right, we're just trying to load this up. We are definitely trying to load this up. Let's see. All right, so we're just going to show you this real quick. All right. All right, we're clicking on this for Joseph of Arimathea. Actually, I think that's just a wiki page. R-M22, Tutankhamun, Y-DNA, R1B1A2. So that's R-M22, Tutankhamun. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. We're going to read. Let's see. According to various accounts, Joseph of Arimathea traveled to England when he founded the first Christian church. He was the protector of the Holy Grail. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow, they removed that. Wow, they removed a lot of this stuff. But in any event, you can see what's written. R1B, Davidic sons of Joseph Arimathea. Let's see if we can find something else. And we are, I guess. Anyway, we got to close it out. It's getting almost to be midnight. We're closing it out, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week. Peace and God bless.